Here's an interesting thing that I've learned about my 90 Daytona. And if you know anything about them, you know that they've got the emergency brake lever, the hand lever, and the problem I've got is when you pull it up all the way, you can still spin the tire. It's got a little resistance, but not that great. So what I was going to do was in the adjusting mechanism, there's no adjustment at the rear hub, is I was going to put something behind this tab, I guess, on the back that would push this lever up a little bit, maybe half an inch, to give me more preload. So the technique I was going to use was to pull the e-brake on to preload it and then hold this clamp in place so that when I release the e-brake, this, I'm not thinking what to call it right now, but the tab would come slack back to about here, and then I could put a grooved washer in there kind of this way that would preload that tab. And when I held this in place so that it couldn't go back and released it, the next time I pulled it, it was already pre-tensed, so it would actually lock up before it even got to the top of its stroke. Right now it goes all the way up easy. So what I'm going to do now is I've preloaded it. I put this hollow tube in. So now there's just a little bit of gap at the back. Release it. So now it's, the cables are loaded, but this cable's just lightly loaded. Wheel still spin free. And when I pull on it, that's full lock now. It used to come all the way up to here. But the beauty is, it's not turning. So you can fine-tune the length of this tube to give you the best travel that you want without locking up your brake when it's released, if you want it to be able to turn. But that's a good way to adjust these brakes. This is the spring-loaded setup inside the arm, so it'll pull that spring, but never knew that. So I ended up having to make a modification to this tube. The problem was that when I released the lever, the tube would sometimes cock to the side and it wouldn't stay in position. So what I ended up doing is I still left it over the nipple on the end of the cable, but on the back side I added an Allen bolt that would go through. So I drilled and tapped for a 6mm bolt, and I have a full threaded bolt, and I just tap that in there, and that rides inside the tube so the tube can't move side to side and get out of place. So that was the one modification that you really need to do, or else the tube is going to end up flopping around in here every time you let go of it, because those cables don't pull at exactly the same tension. But simple fix. I'm really happy with it. I'll pull the cable. You can see I only get about half throw on the lever, and those rear brakes are locked right up. So if you can't get your emergency brakes to lock for you, You're getting full travel on your emergency brake lever. Good fix. The length on this is probably about 3.5 to 4 inches on the tube, but your length may vary because these brakes are out of a Grand Cherokee. So that's it for this week. Hope you got something out of this.